Go on the road, I have 3 objectives. Objective number 1, drive safe. If I don't drive safe, I can't get to objective number 2. Objective number 2 is to make money. And objective number 3 is to make it back home to my wife and kids. So if I'm tired and it just so happens that I got to spend a night in your Sundown Town, this truck will be parked right on the corner.
And if you are a black truck driver in America, I need you to listen up. There are places in America called Sundown Towns. I don't know if you know this, but it's an area where if you're caught there after sunset, after the sun goes down, you're either going to be severely injured or your life is going to be taken. The company that I used to work for called Warner Enterprises sent me there, and I believe they did this on purpose because I filed a racial discrimination complaint along with many other retaliation complaints. The first clue that I got is because my boss called me and told me to spend the night that night, and he has never told me to spend the night anywhere. And then when I got to the facility and tried to get unloaded, the white guy was like, hey, it's not a good idea for you to spend the night here or be here after sunset. He told me to leave. And then when I emailed Human Resources, you know what they told me? They told me I have other pressing matters to attend to. Basically, my life is not valuable to them. So if you ever visit Vincent, Virginia, just be careful. It's in an area known as the Devil's Bathtub, and they do not like black people. Google the history.
As I wake up this morning in the Sundown Town, I don't play. I've been driving this road for 10 years. We got to plot our routes. It's called plan your way through everything. I got boogers all up in it. Plan your way through your routes. Do not find yourself in the Sundown Town at a no-name gas station and realize that you are possibly going to get kidnapped, possibly not going to wake up and see the next day. You got to plan your routes and get to them truck stops that's well lit. Love's, Pilot, the new Pilot 19 or something like that. Make sure you get yourself to a legit truck stop. Do not ever in a Sundown Town stop. I'm in a Sundown Town. I don't care. I'm not scared. I keep your machete. I walk with a big stick as well. Every bit of 6'4", and I don't care about none of these cars. If I'm gonna go, I'm gonna take it out of fuel. They're gonna be on the news. They're gonna have to hide. They're gonna have to bury their friends with me as well. But understand, we as truckers, we gotta plan our routes. We cannot be finding ourselves in these Sundown Towns and these no-name truck stops. You are beckoning to be checked out for the rest of your life. You are beckoning to become.
This is why veteran drivers plan their routes like military ops. Safe stops, Loves, Pilot, TA, big chains, bright lights, cameras rolling. You don't park overnight at Joe's no-name gas and go. You don't wander around sightseeing like you're on a food truck tour. And you definitely don't assume the government's gonna protect you.
Moving these streets, you always pushing.
Let's talk sundown towns as a black trucker. And I'm gonna tell you my experience with these sundown towns. I don't eat nobody's food but my own food. I've been poisoned before out here in one of these sundown towns. I was sick for a week, like a dog. I had went in there, went to the diner, got something to eat, sick to the stomach. I couldn't hold nothing down for a whole week. Don't eat shit. Number two, always keep that. I don't give a if you a felon. You hear me? They don't care about you. The company don't care about you. So you better bring that shit with you. I hate when people are like, you're an amateur boxer. Boxing is a sport. We don't do that in the street. We don't do that. And there was a time I was in the sundown town. Somebody called me a when I was walking. This is all when I was a rookie. When I was walking across the street because I didn't know no better. I didn't stay in this truck. My dumb ass was exploring like a loser, like Dora. I'm out here walking around all these racist white people with all these American flags everywhere. Number one thing you need to do, stay your ass in the truck, get that concealed carry, and get the fuck out of there. Don't spend the night.
The Sundown Town thing is keep popping up on my feed, right? And a lot of people are stirring the pot again, and I know where it's coming from, right? I've been a truck driver 6 years. I've driven down south and through a lot of these states, Florida. I've been through Kentucky. I've been through Mississippi, Alabama, right? And these sundown states, they're there, right? But here's the thing with people not addressing. The federal government is in cahoots with the sheriffs and keeping this shit up and running. Because as a black man, I cannot understand how that they make all these laws protecting everybody but us, right? When something happened to the Asian community at some parlor or something, they made an Asian Protection Act bill. They did it for the Jewish people, right? They're knowingly knowing that things are happening to black men and black people in general, but we are essential workers. You guys need us to bring you things, right? We transport goods and the things that's essential for people, especially during the situation with the pandemic, right? I carry every day. I'm also a firearm instructor, right? So I understand and I have the wits about myself to know, one, I have to have great situational awareness, but two, I can't depend on anybody to protect my safety. As a man, that's my job, to protect myself and my family. And I take that shit very seriously. But these sundown towns, man, you know, they're a thing, and some of these companies don't believe you. So here's what I would tell you. These are your licenses. You have a commercial license. You're a CDL driver like myself. It's your right to protect your life, man. You don't have to go through no sundown towns. You need to be aware, always pre-trip where you're going. And if you decide to go, take you some fucking protection. I'm not talking about no bat. I ain't talking about no knife. Take you a pew-pew that have a lot of rounds with it. And some mags know how to use it. Because, see, they keep doing this shit because they feel that they can get away with it. They don't feel it's going to be no justification. Nothing in the federal book states that truck drivers can't carry. As long as you have the appropriate licenses and going through the appropriate states, you better keep something on you. Keep some fire on your ass. See, because they can talk all that tough shit. It'll be 8, 9, 10 of them trying to pull you out your truck till you blow one of their ass down. All of a sudden, they get like, oh, shit, this guy ain't playing. Police ain't going to help you because a lot of times them sheriffs and shit be in cahoots with that shit. So stop depending on the fucking government to protect you guys. We got to be men, protect ourselves and our families, man. That's all I'm going to say about that shit, man. Stop playing games out here. You only get one life. Like and share and comment. Let me know down in the comments if you've even been through a sundown town. I have. But I ain't going to get into that because they're going to probably take this video down and suppress it like they do all my other shit. So, whatever. Y'all stay safe out there and watch your 6. Peace.
Yo, let me tell y'all as quickly as I can about my night in a sundown town. Excuse me. Yes, I said that correctly. A sundown town. 2022, a sundown town. For those who don't know what a sundown Sundown Town is. Look it up on Google. But anyway, so I get a load going to a particular city in Texas. And I'm like, okay, well, let me head on over here and drop this off. They're going to pay me this much. That's perfect. I like that. It's a quick 200 miles, make it quick. You know, whatever the amount was, great, cool. I get there and I look at the exit. I'm like, wait a minute. It took me to exit 861A. For those who don't know, it's a place called Vidor, Texas, Vidor, Vidor. I'm like, uh-oh, I've heard stories. Like pretty much everybody I know in Texas that's black tells me, do not go to Vidor, Texas. I'm like, okay. Yet here I was in Vidor, Texas. My load didn't deliver until this morning. This is from the perspective of yesterday. Didn't deliver until tomorrow at 8. It was like 5:30. So I get to the place. I'm not giving names of companies or anything like that. But while I'm driving to the place, I see trailer parks. I see a bunch of Confederate flags. I saw a doll of a black man. It was just a doll wrapped in a Confederate flag hanging from a tree by its neck. That's the type of stuff I saw in Vidor, Texas, which led me to believe that the reputation was fairly earned. I get there. The security guard says, hey, we got a code red. The guy gets on the phone, is like, hey, I can't, I don't want to be responsible for this guy's safety. Let me go ahead and find somebody because we stopped taking loads at 4 o'clock. But I'll get somebody over here from the other side of the plant. Tell them to hang on. So I hang on. I'm doing what I got to do. Finally, somebody comes by about 15 minutes later. The guy said, let me hurry up and get you unloaded. He quickly gets me unloaded. And they said, dude, you might want to get up out of here as soon as possible. We're at sundown. You want to leave here now. Don't stop until you at least get to Beaumont. I was like, okay. He was like, no, seriously. I said, well, what about the police? Why aren't the police there? Police turned a blind eye. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna do what you said. He said, yeah, man, I don't want to see you get in any trouble. So I went ahead and I took off, headed to Beaumont. I went to the Petro in Beaumont, slept there, and I had my Armalite Rifle 15 with me. Slept with a couple of extra magazines, but I'm safe, y'all. But that was my night in the Sundown.
Being a truck driver in Florida, let me tell y'all the first experience I had of finding out what a sundown town was. It was a Thursday. I was driving a 26-foot box truck from Orlando to Gainesville. So I'm between Ocala and Gainesville, but I got to stop and get some gas and get some food or whatever. But I see absolutely nothing as I'm driving. It ain't no houses, no buildings, just road and trees. I finally find this old-ass Circle K gas station in the middle of nowhere. An old white lady that was helping me at the counter was sweet as can be, nice as hell. Hey, baby, what brings you way out here in these sticks? You just coming to get some gas? I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of familiar with these parts, but kind of not, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to Gainesville. I'm just shooting through. I'm in and out. She's like, all right, baby, God bless. You have a good one. Get my stuff, go back out to the truck, try to put the key in there and start the truck up. It will not start up. I wait a few seconds, put the key in there again, try to start it up. It will not start up. Don't know what the fuck is wrong. So I call my dispatcher, and my dispatcher tell me to look up under the hood to see if I can figure it out. I'm just like, yeah, okay, whatever. So I say to myself, man, I'm not about to go look up under this fucking hood. I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't know what I'm looking at. I signed up to be a driver. I ain't no damn mechanic. But I'm sitting there for like 20, 25 minutes, so I get bored. I'm like, all right, man, let me just go look up under the hood, see what I can see. So as soon as I get out of the truck, go around, pop open the hood, and as soon as I look down, the lady that was helping me in there comes out in a panic. What's wrong, baby? Is everything okay? Are you all right? I say, yeah, ma'am, I don't know what's going on with the truck. It won't start up, and I don't know much about trucks. I called my dispatcher. I don't know what they're going to do. They figuring it out now. She was like, all right, well, do you need a tow truck or anything? Do you need an Uber or a taxi to take you closer into town? And I was like, no, ma'am, I'm not allowed to leave the truck. It's a lot of valuables on this truck, and I'm delivering. I can't just leave the truck. I can't just leave it. She was like, all right, I understand. And she goes back in the gas station, but she keep looking at me, looking at her watch, looking at me, looking at her watch. And then she comes back out there and says, well, you don't want to sit up in some hot truck. You can't get it fixed, no AC, and there's nowhere for you to sit down in there. Like, so you're just going to stand out here and just sit in this hot truck? I say, honestly, man, right now, I don't have a choice. I'm just waiting for my dispatcher to hit me back. She said, okay, I understand. My dispatcher called me back and was like, listen, we got a tow truck coming out there in about 2 hours. Just sit tight. I'm like, damn, 2 hours is hot as hell. I'm ready to go. Then again, I was like, it's all right. I got food. I got drink here. The sun about to start going down. It's not going to be that hot, whatever. And I didn't want to go in the Circle K because of how the lady was acting. So I was just like, I'll be all right, whatever. She seen me get off the phone. She ran out to me again and she was just like, did you figure anything out? Do you know what you're going to do? I was like, yeah, my dispatcher said they got somebody coming in 2 hours for the tow. I'll be fine. She was like, 2 hours? The sun will be down by then. Are you sure they can't figure anything out before then? I was like, they said 2 hours. And she looked at her watch, went right back in the store. Few minutes go by, I get thirsty, so I ran in the store and go grab a Gatorade. As soon as I go in the store to get a Gatorade, she had her back turned and she was on the phone talking to the police, talking about, yeah, he's been here for a while, you gotta come get him, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't put two and two together until I bought the Gatorade and I left, and I was like, damn, she was calling the police. She was calling somebody on my ass, like, what the fuck? So I called my dispatcher back. I'm like, yo, I don't know what's about to go down, but this old lady that worked at this store just been giving me problems or whatever when she found out I wasn't going to be able to move my truck. I think she just called the police on me. I don't know what's about to happen, but can y'all fucking shake a tail feather? My dispatcher was like, why would she call the police? I was like, I don't know, and I don't want to find out. Can y'all hurry up? 5 minutes after I get off the phone, sure enough, the police pull up right behind my truck. A black police officer gets out and he asked me what's the problem, asked me what's going on. He assesses the truck and says, listen, I'm going to have to take you somewhere. I said, I can't leave my truck. Like, what are you talking about? You about to get me fired. He said, listen, I'm going to have to take you somewhere. Get in the truck. Get in the back of the truck. We driving for about 30 seconds. And I'm like, bro, where the fuck are you taking me? He was like, are you familiar with the mall area? He was like, that's a good area. I said, yeah, I'm familiar with the mall area. He said, yeah, that's where I'm taking you. I said, what the fuck you taking me to the mall for? I can't leave my truck. He said, you have to leave your truck. I said, why? Because that bitch called the police on me. I ain't even do nothing. He said, she didn't call the police on you. She called the police for you. I know her personally. He said, in 45 minutes, that sun was going to go down and you was going to go missing. And I ain't say nothing else. I already knew by then. I put two and two together by that point. When we finally got to the mall, I called my dispatcher and I told the officer, I'm like, yo, I need you to tell my dispatcher why I had to leave the truck. And he grabbed the phone and told my dispatcher everything, got on the phone, called my boss and told my boss everything just so I wouldn't get in trouble. The lady was scared for my life. Even the officer didn't even stick around. He like, yeah, I'm just gonna drive you out here. Cause he could have easily been like, well, I'm just gonna stick here with you so nothing happened to you. He was like, nah, nigga, we gotta go. We gotta go. Even when the tow truck guy came and picked me up, I told him where it was at. He put it in the GPS. He was like, yeah, I'm not going over there. I said, what the hell? He said, yeah, I'm not going over there that late. I'll come back and get it in the morning. Motherfuckers didn't want no part. So yeah, this was about 7 years ago, and I swear I think about that shit every other day. Damn near every day. And shit, I mean, because she could have just not said nothing. She could have just let me sit there. And I would have went missing like a mother.
What up, TikTok? I want to tap into what everybody talking about and what I've been seeing on TikTok with these black truck drivers coming up missing in these sundown towns that I clearly done driven through, slept in, all that years ago, probably still driving through them now. And I know where they at for the most part, but everybody ain't going. You motherfuckers out there that's doing what y'all doing with these black truck drivers, taking them away from their families, their kids, and shit like that, I'm gonna go and let y'all know. Everybody ain't going.
The lessons: plot, protect, and peace out. Number 1, plan your route like your life depends on it, because in some places it does. Number 2, know your exits, and not just on the freeway. Number 3, protection is personal, whether that's situational awareness, legal self-defense, or the pew-pew plan. Number 4, trust the vibe. If your gut says nope, it's a nope. Number 5, always let someone know where you are. Don't go ghost on your family or friends.
Y'all get y'all some protection, man. From all these motherfuckers out here talking about this sundown shit. Fucking with people out here that's trying to make an honest, true living. Man, everybody ain't going. People, I got a lot to lose, but I ain't going. So, bitch, I'ma lay your funk ass down. You, your cousins, your sisters, anybody that's out there with you. So you come knocking on this motherfucking red door here. All that follow me on these back roads and all that shit, I'ma add your ass out. And I put that on Jesus Christ symbols.
Alright, so I got a little bit of story time. Everybody's been talking about these little sundown towns or whatever, and I really wasn't gonna say nothing just because in the past week I have been to this town like maybe twice already. I'm an OTR trucker, but my company has been needing help with one of their dedicated routes out in Illinois. So, anywho, I'm not going to say the name of the town. I'm going to just say that the town is in Arkansas. So, the other day, 2 days ago, I took a load to Arkansas from Illinois. It was like a 5-hour and 11-minute drive. And I knew I was not going to have the time to drive back the same night after getting unloaded. So once I leave the drop-off location or the unload location, I was able to find a Love's that was like 8 minutes away from where I was at. And it was raining really bad, so I knew I did want to take a shower because I got rained on. So I knew I wanted to take a shower, probably get something to eat, chill up for a little bit to the morning because I usually start like 5:30 a.m. Anywho, I get to the Love's. What I did notice when I first pulled into the Love's, there was a black pickup truck. And it was like, it looked like it had just turned into the trucker entrance and just stopped there. So I figured like maybe he was taking a break or he may have worked there, or it could have been a number of things. Wasn't really thinking too much of it. So by the time I made it to the Love's, it was about 2:30 in the afternoon. So I parked up. Like I said, it was raining really bad. I didn't want to get rained on again. So I was like, all right, let me just chill, play a little PS5 and wait till the rain slow up or just stop. So around like maybe 6:30 that night, the rain did slow up enough to where I felt comfortable getting my stuff and going in to take a shower. So get out the truck. Like I said, it's like 6:30. So as I'm getting out the truck, it was a black dude who also works for my company. I see him speed walking past me, like I'm talking about fast. But I thought he was just trying to get some steps in or something, like, you know, get them 10,000 steps in or whatever. I didn't really think too much of it. And I also seen two black dudes that worked for Love's who were taking stacks of boxes and taking them to the dumpster that were left outside. So I'm walking into the building, like I said, not thinking anything of anything, just, you know, doing me like I always do. And take about an hour 20 minutes to shower. I know by the time I did get out of the Love's, it was like 7:50. So as I'm walking out, I did notice that the two black dudes that were outside, they were now inside. One was behind the counter and one was doing like little courtesy checks, sweeping up floors or whatever inside. And it was two white dudes now who was out there moving them boxes or whatever. So as I'm walking to my truck, the black dude that passed me, that was speed walking to his truck, he parked like 4 trucks down from me. Like, yeah, 4 trucks down from me. But I noticed that he was in his truck and he was doing like one of these. And I didn't know what that meant. Like, he was doing that. So I'm thinking he's like, you know, trying to shoot a bug or anything he was doing in his truck. I really didn't think he was doing that towards me. So as I'm almost to my truck, that same black pickup truck that was at the entrance, he like pulls up on the right side of me and beeps the horn because I have my headset on. He beeps the horn, rolls his window down, and was like, oh, hey, you must not be from around here. So I'm like, me being me, I'm laughing at him. And I'm like, well, why would you say that? What would give me away? Is it the way I walk? Is it how I dress? What? Why would you say that? So he was just like, oh, just know I'm one of the good ones. Which I didn't know what he meant by that either. So I was like, okay. So he was like, oh, well, which? He started pointing to all the trucks. He's like, which truck is yours? So I was like, well, why you want to know where my truck at? Like, what you got going on? Why, is this your car? So he was like, just know that you should get to your car or your truck. And if you have blinds, close your blinds. So now I'm starting to get offended because, like, you ain't going to tell me what to do. What you talking about? Like, this is how I'm thinking in my mind, but I'm not saying anything. I'm just steady smiling because I'm not thinking nothing or whatever. So I get in my truck or whatever. I was already going to close my blinds. Get in the truck, close my blinds, lock the doors, whatever. And as I'm playing my game, because I get back on the PS5, as I'm playing the game, it started dawning on me like, maybe I'm in a sundown town or so, because why would he just pull up on me? Like, did he say that to everybody, or is it just me because I'm a girl or whatever? Like, it just really was bothering me. So I didn't really think anything of it. I woke up 5:30 a.m., did my pre-trip, went to use the bathroom really quick, got back in the truck, and got back to Illinois. The same dude that I had seen the night before, like speed walking to his truck, he's coming out while I'm coming inside, but he's flagging me down. Like, he rolls his window down, he puts his hand out, he's flagging me down and roll my window down. So he was like, oh, I hope you didn't think I was trying to be rude or anything. So I'm like, well, what are you talking about? He's like, oh, because, you know, I was doing like this in the truck. I was like, yeah, I seen you. I thought you was like shooting a bug or a gnat or something. He was like, no, I was doing that to try to tell you to hurry up and get into your truck, because this is my dedicated route. I go to that town like at least 2 or 3 times out of the week, and they're racist. It's a sundown town. So I'm like, nah, you lying. So he was like, yeah, you know that truck that was at the entrance, he was like, that truck is there almost every time I come there. And that truck does that. If it's anybody that's not from there or haven't delivered there or just stopping and they're of color, that truck is always there, and he rides up on people. And so he was like, that person told me twice before. When I first started with this dedicated route, the dude told him twice before that he needs to stop. He needs to pick the times where he gets out his truck and make sure those times is before the sun go down. So like I said, this Sundown Towns, man, shit is real, man. The shit is really real, man. Like, for real, like, I couldn't believe I was actually in that situation. And then I do notice that with this dedicated route, like I said, I'm an OTR driver, but they needed help. So they're sending like a lot of solo OTR drivers over here to help if you're over in this area. But I did notice when I first started here last week that the lady was saying how a lot of truckers are quitting or refusing to take routes. That's because I noticed that a lot of these routes that they've given us to take are in these small backyard boogie towns, man, that only has a population of 8,000 or less. And a lot of those towns that have a population of 8,000 or less are really, really, really racist. I was just at one last night. I was in Arkansas 2 days ago, and then last night they sent me to some small town in Kentucky where the streets were so narrow that if you did not pay attention, you were definitely going over the edge into a roadside ditch. Like, a lot of these places are racist in small towns, and that's why a lot of these truckers of my color are refusing to take loads from this distribution center out here in Illinois. And I didn't understand it then. I'm thinking like, oh, this gig is sweet. This dedicated money is sweet. But it's a reason why a lot of them are not coming back, or a lot of them are refusing to take certain loads, because they've been to these towns before and they already know how it is. The town I was in last night, these people were so racist, they didn't even want to talk to me, and they have to talk to me so I can know what they are taking out of the truck. I have multiple stops, so I have to know what y'all taking out of my truck. And they didn't even want to talk to me. Like, I'm asking them questions and they straight ignore me as if I'm not even talking. Like I'm a gnat in their ears. Something. Like, they definitely wasn't talking. I'm talking about up until when I had to sign. Like, I gave the lady the paper to sign for the stuff they took off the truck. She snatched the paper, signed it, gave it. Actually, she didn't give it back. She just sat it down so I could pick it up and leave. So I just said, you know what? Now I get it. But yeah, that's my story, man. Town was in Arkansas, very racist. I think they have a population of maybe, I think it said 7,000, because I did look it up. It said less than 7,000 people in that town, which is freaking bonkers, man.
So I done parked in a sundown town. Let me tell you what happened. So I parked my truck, went across the street to the Dollar General. So while I'm at the Dollar General, I'm sitting over there just walking around trying to see if I need some stuff for my truck. After I was in there for a minute, somebody come up to me and say, "Hey man, I like your shirt." Like, I was like, "Yeah, thank you, man. It's my design. It's highway hustling." Well, you know, they asked me, "Well, how you come up with that right there?" So then, you know, they leave after we talk or whatever. So they leave, go down the aisle. As they go down the aisle, I'm sitting over here, just looking around. So then the guy he said, "Well, you better watch yourself. You know, we're supposed to get some snow." I said, "That's fine. I'm just riding through. I ain't even, of course I had on my shorts and I had on this hoodie." And so I said, "I'm just riding through." After I said that right there, another guy who looked like he was president and CEO of the trailer park comes around and say, "Where you from?" And I said, "Well, I'm from Georgia." That joker that I just got finished talking to from the other end of the aisle yells out and says this right here: "You a long way from home, boy." When he said that, I looked down there
He said that with so much rosewood in his voice. He said that with so much Mississippi burning in his voice. I said, man, let me get my stuff and get out of here. I went up to the front, paid for my stuff, and I was gone.
So what's trending right now on my timeline on TikTok? This is Sundown Towns and black truck drivers going missing. Clyde, North Carolina, where they ran up on the homie and tried to flip the trailer, or I don't know, accuse him of stealing the phone. I don't know. I do know this. If any of you racist ass rednecks try to run up on me in this sundown town, it's going down, son. Let me say this again. If any of you racist ass rednecks try to run me out, I'm crashing out. Earth's my turf. I'ma put in work or put me in the dirt. That's on me.
What's going on, y'all? So look, I've been seeing a lot of the videos about the black truck driver got his truck flipped and all that in Sundown Towns. Last month was year 6 for me. I can say I done been places where you know, and I'm from Southern California, so you know we deal with racism within really the black and Hispanic communities, but we know how them other people is. It's in their blood. Take it how you take it. But when it comes to this truck driver life, it's places and towns where your GPS gonna have you at. You gonna feel it. I didn't went in restaurants and all where I'm like, I didn't even know what Sundown Towns was until like year 3, maybe 4. And the homegirl, when I was in Alabama, she asked me where I was at, and I told her, she's like, you better be careful, that's something. Called my job, like, hey, this is when I was with like mega carrier. I'm like, hey, you know, told them. They're like, oh, I don't think it's like that. Well, I'm black, you're not. The person was one of them colors. But this is the thing. When you're not a square from Delaware, they gonna know. They gonna read your body language, the way you walk, the way you look at them, the way you speak. Walk with your head up. Even if I got my head down, I might be looking at my phone. But I stayed. You better, this is what I learned from a lot of people. You better keep this on you. If you ain't got the other shit, you better at least have something to get up off of you. You know what I mean? It's smart. They gonna look at your hip anyway. And don't think drivers ain't got it, because they got it. I remember being somewhere, thought this old dude was gonna hit somebody with a cane. He had overalls on. Nah. He took a little 22 up out of his pocket. Since that day, I was like, nah, yeah. So all that road rage and shit, you don't know what somebody got. But I don't be scared. It is what it is. I ain't scared of you. I ain't gonna, damn sure I ain't gonna call you sir. I ain't gonna call you shit. I'm gonna let you know I'm a little bit of racist and shit. You gonna know. I was just in Maryland talking to a dude, you know, YT. Talking to him. He loved my energy though. This is what I don't do around other races. I be myself. I'm not gonna put on that voice. None of that. I'm gonna be who I am. You're gonna respect it or you're not. But I'm not gonna change for nobody to fit in. And that's why I get respected. That's why a lot of people know, damn, Lamont, he knows some shit. Oh, he know about land, buying stocks, life insurance, this and that. Yeah, I'm not a statistic. I would never be. My kids will never be. So when I say I walk that walk, talk that talk, when I go places, you gonna know, oh yeah, he ain't no pushover. Cause I'm, what? You got me fucked up, nigga. We truck drivers, nigga. You niggas better know how this shit go. Respect us, you gonna get respect. You talk to me crazy, you gonna get the same thing back. I wish a nigga would close my door. Forced to close my door, tell me to get out, any of that, nigga, what? You must got shit fucked up. And I get out, better know I got something. You come in this motherfucker, you better be watching and ducking. 'Cause bitch, this is my property. This is my piece. This is my temple. This is like coming in your house in Vegas. Nigga, stand your ground. So just have confidence out here on the road. Yeah, this shit dangerous. It is places that you gonna feel it. But then you're gonna go places where you comfortable, but at the same time, you like, damn, nigga, am I safe or, you know, you're gonna go plenty of places where there ain't no black people. You're gonna feel it, certain places. Then you go places where it's all black people, but then if you're from the hood, you gonna know, damn, I don't know, I gotta be, you know how we are with our own people most of the time. You gotta peep the scene, you know? Well, have something. I don't give a fuck, you got cracking it with this. Better have something, man. Don't be scared out here, man. Just pay attention where you go. Lock your doors. Nighttime, you ain't gotta get out, especially if you a nigga. Man, you better piss in a bottle or an energy drink can like I do. I'm not getting out shit if I know this probably ain't one of them places. Especially rest areas. I don't really get out at no rest areas at nighttime. Especially the ones like Virginia and shit by trees and Colorado. Nigga,
Have y'all been watching these videos go viral about Sundown Town? Sundown Town is basically a place where truck drivers should not drive through when it's sundown. I watched a story about a truck driver whose truck broke down and he was able to make it to a gas station right before it broke down, but it was almost sundown. He called his dispatcher letting him know that he was stuck and thought he'd go wait inside the gas station in the meantime. He really wasn't feeling the vibe, so he went in his truck to wait because he had water, he had food, like he was chilling. An older lady comes out and says, "Is somebody coming to help you?" And he was like, "Yeah, my dispatcher is coming in 2 hours." She said, "Can they get here any faster? Because 2 hours, the sun is going to be going down." And he didn't understand why she was saying what she was saying and why she kept coming out checking on him like, "Are you okay? Like, you sure you don't want to catch a cab out of here?" Until a police officer came. And when a police officer came, the police officer told him, "Sir, you need to come with me." He goes, "I'm not arrested." He said, "Listen, come with me." He said, "Why am I being arrested?" He said, "You're not. You know that mall up the road? I'm going to drop you off there because it's a well-lit area with a lot of people. You do not want to be in this town after sundown because a lot of people don't make it out." Also, the officer was also of color, and the truck driver was also of color. So he read in between the lines and proceeded to let him take him to the mall where he was picked up. I went down a rabbit hole. If y'all watch these videos, type in Sundown Town. Truck drivers is missing. So to all my truck drivers out there, because a lot of y'all come on my live and interact with me, please be safe out here. I don't know if it's somewhere y'all know where all the sundown spots are, but please, please, please be safe.
Okay, if you are a driver and you're a person of color like myself, this message is for you. Matter of fact, even if you're not a person of color, this message is for you too. So, with the recent unalivings of a couple of black drivers, obviously local law enforcement have been ruling them suicides, but us black people, we know those are not suicides. Let me be perfectly clear when I say this. Sundown towns do exist. If you are one of those non-POC that have never heard of sundown towns, Google is free. But I'm making this video to help out people of color. So let me go ahead and give y'all a little bit of free game. Okay, so if you type in Sundown Towns on Google or whatever search engine that you use, you're going to be looking for this right here, this website, History and Social Justice. Once you click on History and Social Justice, this is what you'll be looking at. Once you click on the page, this is what you'll be looking at right here. And just below me, right here, is a map of the United States. And basically, whenever you click up on the states, it'll actually pull up a list of sundown towns in that state, whether they're active, non-active, or they were suspicious, or they were under suspicion of being a sundown town. Now, me personally, being a person of color, and obviously being a driver, I may have passed through some of these sundown towns. One of them was actually a former sundown town
or was under the suspicion of being a sundown town, i.e., that place being Lamar, Colorado, right off of 287. Now, I've stayed there a couple of nights and didn't even realize that it was it was under suspicion of being a sundown town or was a former sundown town. As a person of color, this is information that I'm really not willing to gatekeep. I want to help out as many of my, as many drivers that look, that look like myself, and that, and that are also of different races or colors too. So that way they can be fully aware that some of these towns that they're driving through, some of these towns that they're staying in, or hell, some of these towns that they're even making deliveries to could potentially be sundown towns. And also, if you're a non-person of color, please educate yourself, and if you can, please help spread the word so that way people like me and people, and other PLCs don't wound up being on the news for for somewhat unaliving themselves, hanging from a tree. Okay, so hopefully this helps. God bless, and be safe out there, drivers.
I'm going to get on with a little serious note regarding these sundown towns. Honestly, truckers, even if you don't want your wives or your girlfriends or anyone to have like that to have your location, somebody in your family need to know where you're at all times. Somebody need to have a location on you. If something don't feel right, it's not right. You really need to be careful out here. Always check to make sure to see what the population is in that area concerning, just to make sure we're supposed to be there, because sometimes these sundown towns are not listed as sundown towns. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm just praying that the people that is missing return home safely. Let's just always make sure that somebody know where we at all times, honestly. And let's make sure that we don't stop at anywhere. Just stop on familiar ground, even if it's not familiar. Stop where you feel is safe. Don't mess around with them little rinky-dink little jump offs, if you know what I mean. I'm just really saddened that this is what's going on, because if it wasn't for us, the world wouldn't even be going around. And these are innocent black men. This is somebody's son, this is somebody's father, this is somebody's husband, and it's crazy. It's crazy. Again, truckers, let's make sure that we are being safe. Nothing is too safe. You feel what I'm saying? If it comes down to you and your little girlfriend, gotta be out there. Let's get it had. Let's make it happen.
Guys, there's something I just learned today. I didn't even know what a sundown town even is. I'm a white person, and I've been doing some research on this, and I never knew there was a sundown town thing for racism people, or brotherhood, or you want to call it. Never knew that. This world that we live in, it is whack. So you're telling me if I'm black and I can't go into a town at a certain time without being harassed? There is something wrong. There is something wrong in 2025 that we all just need to. I don't even know at this point. I wonder why we even have racism in 2025. And you're telling me, and there's sundown towns in the south and the east. I'm sure there's in the west as well. But damn, never knew that.
The road doesn't care, but you should. Trucking already demands stamina, skill, and patience. But for drivers of color, it also demands a sixth sense for danger that has nothing to do with weather or way stations. Sundown towns are a reality, not a rumor. And the difference between a safe trip and a nightmare is knowing where you are, who's around you, and how fast you can leave. So yeah, keep your logs legal, your rig rolling, and your stops strategic. Out here, it's not just drive safe, it's drive smart, survive smart.